Hello, my friends. Good afternoon. It is, oh my gosh, it's good evening. Where did the day go? Where did it go? All right, so yesterday I said I was going to do a quick afternoon chat about a topic that came across me a couple of times in the past couple of days. I've had some interesting interactions in some spiritual groups over the last day or two. I've actually left a couple of groups because of this, and I wanted to talk about it because I do get this question every now and again, asking, hello ladies, asking about black magic, asking about hexes. And in the particular group I'm speaking about, there was a question that someone asked about, is it possible that somebody could hex them or use black magic on them? They were having, an issue with somebody, and this person got a crap ton of answers. And so what concerned me was some of the answers were, well, let me put it this way. I want to ask or invite all of us who are in the spiritual community to shift our perspectives around the terms black and white magic, okay? Because, and I particularly got in a heated conversation with somebody who is an admin of this group because there's like barbecue smoke from the grill coming in the window. And I'm like, an admin of the group who really was trying to tell this person, oh, here's what you do. Here are the rituals you do. Here are the prayers that you say. Here are the things that you do if you feel like somebody's using black magic against you or hexing you. And another woman had said she had an ex-boyfriend who had used witchcraft on her, and like her experiences were really bad and that kind of thing. And it kind of discouraged me to see a spiritual group giving advice on this, or giving advice on how to deal with hexes and how to deal with black magic. And of course, like, they had to do certain things or certain rituals, certain prayers that this person only knew how to do, right? So that kind of bothered me a little bit, and here's why. Because one thing I don't like when I see in spiritual groups, and I've seen this in empath groups, I've seen it in spiritual psychic medium groups, and I've seen it in dealing with narcissistic relationships, because I do belong to some of those groups as an empath. I like to give support to other empaths because it's such a common thing. And having dealt with those kinds of relationships myself more than once, I do like to help and support wherever I can. And one of the things that kind of bummed me out about these groups is when, sorry guys, I'm just going to share this to my personal page real quick. One of the things that bums me out is that, hold on one second. I know, big cliffhanger here. Big cliffhanger. One of the things that bothers me is that when you're in a group, you're there to learn, you're there to be inspired, and you're there for support. Anyone who comes into my Facebook group, The Empowered Empath Woman, just by that name, you kind of get an idea of if this group is for you or not, and what you're there to do, what you're getting out of it. You are most likely an empath or an intuitive woman, or you're curious about all the woo-woo things. And Empowered Empath Woman, that is what we are working on in this group. That is what you are going to be learning while you're part of this community. So in my opinion, if I was to teach things that took away people's power or didn't encourage you to tap into your own power, I would be doing spirit a disservice. And when it comes to black magic and hexes, I really have questions, and I really push back, because these are rooted in very ancient traditions. Okay, so first of all, we honor, one of the arguments that came to me was honoring the ancient traditions. Like maybe black magic and hexes weren't real to me, because my answer was, they're not real. Black magic and hexes are not real. They are a thing, but they're not real. And by the way, you have the power to overcome any of that. They are words, they're labels, and they're things, but they're really just words, and they're concepts. Doesn't make them real. And because somebody says they're doing it to you does not make it real. And if they try, know that you have the light of source within. So by definition, you can cancel that out and you can be more powerful than that. You don't have to get sucked in. You don't have to succumb. You don't have to consent. You don't have to get overwhelmed or consumed by it. You just don't. Like, you have the power. Source, God, universe is all knowing, all powerful, all loving, and is complete, pure, white love energy, unconditional love and joy energy. So if somebody's talking about black magic or hexes and telling me that they are traditions and that we need to honor our ancestors and honor traditions and it's real for them, I would say, yes, we're not erasing history here. We're honoring the traditions, honor them, remember them, know what they did, but also know that as humanity, one of our goals is to evolve. And when we evolve, sometimes that means leaving behind or releasing things that don't serve us. Humanity today is not the same as humanity in the ancient times when black magic, whether it's like the Celtic Druids, pagans, or if it's, ancient India or ancient wherever, there are different theories on where it came from. Celtic, Vikings, India, Africa, there are all sorts of different theories on where it originated. And that really doesn't matter, in my opinion, because it's not about insulting or erasing ancestral ties, history, facts. It's really saying, does that, what they did then, serve us now, and does it serve where we're going? And the answer to this is no. Our consciousness is raising. Now, don't get me wrong, our ancient and Mayans and all, they were amazing. They figured out things without the technology, without the tools, and just using their intuition and using the elements and the earth. And they had, they were real and raw peeps that really set they really laid the foundation. So we honor them and we appreciate that, and we can see and appreciate the history. But now, applying it to modern humanity and where we're trying to evolve next, do things like black magic and hexes serve us? No. Why? Because at that point in time, they were used for mind control. There's really no other reason for it. It is not real. It is basically using auto-suggestion, which means kind of like neuro-linguistic programming, but for a negative thing. Auto-suggestion meaning I'm going to speak these words, I'm going to declare, I'm going to speak it, and put my energy and focus there, and convince you to put your energy and focus there, and kind of like really speak into your fears, speak into your concerns. And when ancient people, maybe didn't have consciousness or knowledge, or maybe they were in more of a, leader follower mentality and feeling like they weren't very empowered. That's how you disempower people. You make them feel like you have control over them in some way. And if they're doing that, and if somebody's doing that, are they coming from source? No, because source would not create rituals and magic and things that humans could use to deliberately harm other humans or control other humans. This is a human thing. So it's not my opinion that it doesn't exist. I know that there were some arguments with me saying, well, it's just your opinion that it doesn't exist. Who am I to come in and give my opinions as truth? And that's like arrogant of me. I'm like, actually, no, it's not. I'm going to share this into a group real quick, my friends. It's really not my opinion. What I believe in is this. I believe in source. I believe in spirit, in God. And I believe there are spiritual truths that we cannot argue with. They are there, they have been there, and they're not going anywhere. Kind of like sunrise, sunset. There are things you can count on in nature that happen, and there's nature laws and there's spiritual laws, like the law of attraction, the laws of manifestation, the law of reaping and sowing, all of that's coming into play. You can't argue with that. If you're talking about black magic or hexes, those are not spiritual laws. Those are human creations. So they are not truth. They are a human creation and an opinion. Oops, hold on a second. And one moment, you guys. I'm just going to share this into another group real quick. Hold on. Let me find this. I can't find it. Uh-oh. Here we go. All right. There we go. Okay. So they are a human creation. So that is not a spiritual truth. That is something that is so that is something that is also used to in a negative way to harm and to control, which is not coming from spirit. Spirits love energy. And there are no entities that can control source energy. You can't overcome source energy. So by definition, no one can overcome you. The only thing that can overcome you is you. So if someone's preying upon, black magic and hexes are preying upon the fears and insecurities and doubts of other humans. And because you're focusing on this fear, you're focusing on what might happen, you're focusing on what they're saying, and you're believing it, then you are going to manifest this. You're going to manifest the symptoms. You're going to manifest that bad luck in your life. You're going to, things are going to start to blow up around you. And I don't mean literally. I mean like, things are going to get chaotic. Kind of like Mercury retrograde. If you believe that things are going to suck, they will. And so, but does this person literally have the power to send brainwaves and speak words and there's some magical force that's going to absolutely bring bad luck and shit to your life? No way. No way. And people can argue this with me, and that's fine. That's okay. But no, it makes for great movies. It makes for great books, and it makes for great stories about history of our ancestors. It's all great, right? But we are at a point now where we are starting to become enlightened and empowered, that that it is not possible for somebody to take you over, take your mind over and your spirit over, unless we allow it, or unless we are already, unless we already have these concerns and fears and insecurities, and we identify with this and we're allowing it to consume us. So know that it's law of attraction. Black magic and hexes are law of attraction and manifestation. That's what they are. They're auto-suggestions. So I would say don't worry about that. So my advice to the poster was like, you don't have to worry about it. You declare that you're not energetically available for any kind of hexes, black magic. You're not available for this. You're not energetically available for this, and declare that it is so. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do any special prayers, rituals, get a blessing, spray yourself with holy water or anything like that. That's it. And we're keeping simple. If somebody's using black magic, you know what that really means? They're choosing to do bad things. Okay? So in every single one of us, there's a light and a shadow side. This we've talked about before. There's a light and a shadow side. You get to choose which one gets more of your attention. And so if you're choosing the darker side and you're choosing to live there, you're not doing black magic, because magic, okay, you're not doing black magic, you're not doing hexes, you're choosing to do bad things and using those as labels and excuses to do so. It's that damn simple. And those labels allow other people to form groups and form communities and give people a sense of belonging. I think it speaks more to when we get into that black magic and people get really afraid of it and they get obsessed with it. I remember I had a Facebook friend who thought her ex-boyfriend was, doing black magic and doing mind control techniques on her, and it literally consumed her day. She could barely function, to the point where she had convinced herself that she couldn't move, she couldn't speak, she couldn't get out of bed, or she had horrible pains, and she was literally like they had her under their control. All she could do was whatever they said. Imagine, because they're using high whatever, like really that's what I'm looking for, like really modern mind control techniques that are out there, like really, and I was like, and she's like, what do I do? I'm like, you declare that it's done, and you cut yourself off. You cut yourself off from thinking about it. You shift your energy, and you declare that you're no longer energetically available. You remove yourself from these individuals, put up the boundaries, and then you just absolutely shift your energy and focus to something else, and believe that it's possible. Believe that you are done with it. And focus on, I promise you, when you put your full focus on something else and fully present into it, you won't feel any black magic. You won't feel any symptoms. You won't feel any of that. It became a literal physical manifestation. So, and I feel like sometimes humans have a real need sometimes to belong to a group, a real need to get validation for how they feel and for the things they want to do. And sometimes that means entertaining their darker wishes and entertaining their darker urges. Black magic and hexes give them a name, okay, and gives them sometimes a community. And so, and it's their shadow side living from their shadow side. And rather than transmuting that into light and increasing their own awareness, they're going to hide from that. For some reason, that's their soul's journey, is to kind of hide from that and go this way. And it gives them a reason and a validation. For people who are, really feel victimized by it, it gives them an excuse to hide, to stay small. It gives them a reason to really just allow their fears to take them over so that somebody can either help them, save them, whatever. It's their own, again, their shadow side. That's their shadow side. Maybe they're not doing bad things, but they're becoming sort of that more victim role. And that's their shadow side that's feeding their own fears. So all of this is completely within your control, and you can choose differently at any time. Okay, that's really all that it is. And so I suggest that, and I invite, light workers and spiritual people to let go of what doesn't serve. Do any of these things, do talking about black magic and hexes serve our community now? Does it serve humanity now? No, because we are here to empower. Those are disempowering things. No matter how you want to play it, slice it, give reasons or validations or justifications to it, they are disempowering. Because they're telling you that something out there is greater than you and can take you over at any time, and you can't do a damn thing about it. And that's just a bunch of bullshit. Okay? And I'm not talking about if we get into situations that are physically dangerous. I mean, there are, situations we can get into, but what I'm talking about here, like that mind control piece. Okay? So know that you have the power to say, energetically not available. If you don't know how to manage your energy, if you don't feel comfortable putting up boundaries, if you don't know how to, let go of your own shadow side, and you feel like your fears and your doubts get much louder than your light, I invite you to come to my group, Empowered Empath Woman. Come on over. We talk about all these things, and I'm giving you the tools. I have programs coming up that give you tools as well. I have one-on-one coaching either for one day or for extended periods of time that can help you to get past these blocks and get past these fears and be able to hear your own intuition, to hear your own inner light, to hear your higher self, to connect with source, so you're not vulnerable to have other outside influences come in and tell you what your truth is. Nobody should tell you what your truth is. Nobody should tell you what they can do to you or what you need to believe or what's going to happen. You can manifest anything that you want. You can use the law of attraction to create a life that's beyond your wildest dreams if you want to. You get to choose what side of the house you're going to listen to. And doesn't mean the dark will never be there. There'll always be the dark. We have to have the contrast. That's part of who we are, that duality. But what you give more attention to tends to be your life experience, tends to be your soul journey. Where do you want to live? Who do you want to be? And it also can determine who you're listening to and what you're attracting. Because if people are coming to you with witchcraft and black magic, and witchcraft to me is not the same as Wiccan. I think Wiccan, paganism, I love it. And I completely respect it. I'm talking about people who use it in a negative way, who use it as a label for something negative. You're energetically attracting these individuals. They can sense that you're open to this and that you might be kind of like an easy target for it, and you might be easily influenced. So it's about raising your own vibration so that that's not an issue anymore. You're not attracting the narcissist. You're not attracting the people who are going to turn around and use such terms, or they're not trying to influence you to really get you to comply with their agenda. There's so much of that going on right now. And so people are calling all the things in the world, you know, pandemic and like all these other things, they're calling that, some spiritual people are calling that black magic on a large scale. Like it's, you know, Satan's influence. I say it's absolutely the human experience. You're being tested. Your human insecurities are being called upon. Your human fears are being preyed upon because people out there, larger organizations, want to control you. They want to, and so they have to keep you afraid. They have to keep you wondering, guessing, hanging on to their every word. And I'm talking about both sides of the house, people. This ain't no political statement. I am not a Republican. I am not a Democrat. Okay, I'm not about this far right, far left shit, because I feel like both sides are coming at you trying to get you to comply with their agenda. And your agenda has nothing to do with your growth, nothing to do with your light, nothing to do with your gifts, nothing to do with making your life better, nothing to do with your soul's purpose, nothing. If anything, it's to get you away from it so that you can carry out the work for somebody else. We ain't doing that anymore. That's why, you know, I'm okay if this could be the beginning of the end of some of the public school system and the way it's been. We're not churning out no more worker bees. Okay, we're not doing this. We're not churning out, you know, younger generations who can't think for themselves, who depend on outside sources to tell them what's true. We're not churning out people who will just absent-mindedly go and do what they're told all the time. We want the critical thinkers. We want you to ask questions. We want you to look within for the answers, not look without, but within. And break through those old beliefs and bullshit stories and all that programming that we've grown up with. It might be really difficult and emotional and hard, and people are angry and people are sad and people are scared. But at the end of this is just, sometimes the shitstorm comes right before the breakthrough. Sometimes you have to go through all those emotions to get to the truth for you. And I am not supporting any organization or conspiracy theories out there. No, I feel like they all have a little bit of truth and they all have a whole lot of bullshit, okay? Because it's someone else's theory. Bullshit sprinkling on. There's some truth and they're gonna put their spin on it and get you to do what they want you to do. Absolutely fucking not. And they're afraid as fuck of you being powerful and living for yourself and being individual, sovereign, independent. Totally afraid of that. You won't consume their goods. You won't depend on them to live. And then what? The world changes. The wealth is evenly distributed. The power is evenly distributed. People are actually taken care of. And when they're happy, they're fulfilled. And when they're happy and fulfilled, they're not afraid and they're not easily controlled. So those who are used to comfortable being in power, gone. You're done. You're done. Imagine? But imagine how beautiful it would be. And I'm not saying one side wins. Fuck that. Because that's bullshit. All the politics doesn't have any place in the 5D. In the 5D, there are no more labels. There's no more labels. It's just absolutely love and acceptance of one another for who you are, where you're at, and sharing resources so that we can all just take advantage of this beautiful, abundant Mother Earth without destroying her, by the way. Because not only are we taking care of us, we're taking care of the animals and the plants and the minerals and all that. Doesn't that sound better than fighting on Facebook? Like, doesn't that sound better than waiting to see what is my conspiracy theorist going to say today? They told me by Thursday they're going to tell me what's going to happen next and what I need to do next. Meanwhile, the stress from all this is wearing down your immune system. That's black magic. That's fucking black magic. When you're so consumed by what people are going to tell you and what you have, that you're in a constant state of fight or flight anxiety and scared of the world. That's gonna harm you. That's black magic. That's manifestation. And that's our own responsibility. Because anytime now we can tell the powers that be or whoever's trying to influence you to live a life of fear, doubt, hate, anger, not trusting, not doing anything, living a life of unmotivation, uninspired. Anytime we can just say it's over, it's done. I'm not doing this anymore. I know that there's more meant for me. I know that I'm meant to do more than this. I know that I'm connected to something bigger than me. And doesn't sound like this. It doesn't sound like this fearful voice. It doesn't sound like this angry voice. It's not telling me to hate other people. It's not telling me to oppress other people. It's not telling me to call other people names. I don't know. See now? See how powerful it can be when we believe to what we choose to believe. So black magic and hexes, not happening. I'm not available for that shit. Bring it on, bring it. And then I'm gonna toss it right back at you. Because by the way, when you go and put this black magic or put hexes or put any of this mind control shit on anybody, your actions are gonna boomerang right back at you. Simple as that. You're creating your own karma. Your actions are gonna boomerang right back. If you're gonna put evil out in the world, you're gonna get it back. There it is. So what do you want to put out in the world? And imagine if so many people of light got together. Would the dark even have a chance? Or what would happen? The truth would come to light. More light would transmute some of that darkness, and things would change. So one love, my friends, really, it has to be. Otherwise, none of this is going to change. And it doesn't mean one love means we subscribe to one person's theory or another person's theory or mainstream media this or alternatives theory that. Nope. They're not giving a shit about you. They're giving a shit about them. So how can you be the best version of you so that you can shine your light and inspire others to do the same? And if every person felt so confident and certain of their soul purpose, and they knew that the abundance of the universe was there for them, they didn't have to depend on anybody to support them. Man, that would be some stuff. If we just stood by each other and said, you're not going to hurt my fellow humans, not on my watch. Don't care, don't care, doesn't matter, how, if we're different in any way, they're still part of my humanity, my fellow humans, and we're going to stand together. We're not doing this anymore. Whew. Imagine that. Imagine that. So, stay strong, my friends. Stay strong. There is more good out there than you think. Okay? They want you to think it's so evil out there. But there's more good. Look for the good. Look for the people to listen to and work with that make you feel empowered, good, strong, enthusiastic, looking forward to the future. If they have you going down rabbit holes and being afraid or angry or hateful or just like, those people, like, question it. Just ask questions, because there's no room for opportunity when there's those kind of things going on. It's no opportunity. It's just more of the same shit. All right. So love you guys. If you are not in my group, Empowered Empath Woman, come on in. We're talking about money right now. So we're having some good conversations about money. That's whole part of this whole plan here. Anything that I can do to help you, whether it's one-on-one coaching, if you want a Reiki healing session, a psychic reading, or spontaneous transformation technique, which is an inner child healing session, just message me and I will give you the information. And anything else that I can do to help and support you, I'm here. I'm here to activate as many light workers as I can to be empowered in their own way, right? Not my way, your way. So it's your greatness, because it's there. It's just waiting to come out. Just waiting to come out and shine, baby. All right, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later.